Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Mouth of the Mark. I'm Matthew Talon. We're with Daniel John Schaefer. And for the first time, a guest that we actually scheduled for an event is here.
Yeah, it's true. First guy on time. Brent Powelson, Hollywood Kills.
Woo! Happy to be here, boys. Thanks for having me.
Anytime. We're always welcome to guests, mostly because we're hit whores. So anytime we can get somebody who has a little more popularity than us, we're just like, yeah, come on, if we can get one or two more views, we'll take it.
Yeah.
Well, I hate to break it, I'm not popular. It's just my mustache that's popular. There's a lot of people who got it.
We're guaranteed at least 5 views because of that mustache, ladies and gentlemen. That mustache is going to bring at least 5 people, so we might actually get to 7 views.
Woo! It's fairly majestic.
Isn't it?
It is.
So we are less than a half hour removed from WWE's Money in the Bank pay-per-view. And guys, I can't tell you how far I was off tonight. Like, I think I got 2 predictions right out of this whole card.
Yeah, it was a weird card, man. It was strange.
So let's get started with each match, and then we'll give an overview grade at the end of it. On the pre-show, we had R-Truth versus King Barrett, and for what I thought was going to be just the biggest squash match for Barrett, just to give him some steam, they just decided to put that last shovel of dirt on him, man. Why did R-Truth win this? Like, can anybody give me any type of justification as to why R-Truth walked out of that pre-show pinning Barrett?
Because he quit smoking, and Vince was really happy that he quit smoking. He's been bothering him to quit smoking, and he finally did, so he's like, all right, Truth, I'm going to get you a big win here on the kickoff pre-show, baby.
Even that doesn't make enough sense.
Oh, I know, it's not a legit reason for him to win, but we know Vince and his train of thought, or actually we don't know his train of thought.
Yeah, and I can't understand it. The match, the match itself. I mean, it wasn't horrible work. I mean, I've seen a lot worse in the last calendar year, but I mean, it's just booking wise, it made no sense. I gave the match like a D+ because it made no sense. Daniel, what'd you think?
I mean, I was in pretty much the same boat. I thought it was a decent match, but I felt like it was just kind of thrown together, and they were just putting them on TV to kind of be just more of a crowd warmer than anything else. I think honestly that was the only reason why they put them on, because they both kind of, Barrett's going to get a reaction from the crowd as a heel, and, Truth is going to get a huge pop with this little sing-along music thing or whatever. So it's just good it's like an opener at a live show, like doesn't really matter that much, but they're just there to kind of like break the crowd in, So, I mean, I gave the match a C-, so pretty much the same boat. But, I mean, I didn't hate Truth getting a win.
I didn't hate it. I just think it made no sense. B, what about you?
Well, I feel bad for Barrett. I mean, the guy gets given King of the Ring, and I don't think he's won a match since he won the King of the Ring. He looks goofy as hell. Like, I mean, they made him look even stupider with his new ring get up.
Dude, did y'all like the it was almost like a Spartacus homage with his entrance? Like, I was like, what is this?
I think they're trying to capitalize on the whole Game of Thrones thing, but they're going at it the whole wrong way. Like, I don't know, he looks goofy. And he can work. It sucks. I feel bad. He's got charisma. The guy's got major talent, but it's just buried. You can't. I mean, I'm with you guys. Like, I'm being nice and giving a C just because I like R-Truth because he makes me laugh. But he didn't whoop there it is, which is one of my highlights of any time I see R-Truth. Whoop, it is, and he didn't do it, so he's only getting a C for me.
Yeah, it's it is what it is. So I'm glad that it's weird. We're all on the same page. This never happens. We're usually all
rare.
So different.
It is rare.
So
we'll get there, I'm sure.
Oh, it's coming. I'm sure it is. And this is probably gonna be the one to do it. The Money in the Bank ladder match opened the actual pay-per-view, which I know it's not completely uncommon for the ladder match to open the show, but usually there's more than one Money in the Bank ladder match. So I was kind of hoping that it was going to be, if not co-main, maybe third to last, just to give it some main event flair. But I don't know, but anyway, getting into it, Sheamus walked out with the contract, which was way out of left field for me. I thought for sure that like Sheamus and Orton were going to cancel each other out, and Sheamus had no shot of winning this thing.
Yep.
But I mean, I couldn't have been more wrong. They teased our little dark horse spot when New Day came out and Kofi was in there. I was like, yeah, they're gonna do it, and I was like, oh, they didn't do it. The match itself, even with Sheamus winning, I gave it a B. I know Dan texted me and he's like, oh, so clunky, and yeah, there were some pretty clunky spots there. But the Money in the Bank ladder match is a spot fest every time, and there were some pretty cool spots. And what really boosted it for me was Bray Wyatt coming out with Roman Reigns climbing the ladder. I'm moderately excited to see what they do with that. I'm hoping they don't bury Bray. But overall, I gave the Money in the Bank ladder match a B. Brent, what did you think about the ladder match?
Like compared to last year's, I was disappointed, and especially since I've been watching a lot of Lucha Underground. Like the spots just they didn't do it for me, and I thought it was surefire Roman Reigns with the win, especially how they built him up on Raw with those 3 matches. I think that was this past week where he had to fight 3 people to keep the spot.
That was 2 weeks ago, I think.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago.
So they were basically shoving him down our throats like he's going to win, but I guess they realized their mistake from the Mania build up, and I didn't really like any of the contestants in that match. So yeah, it would have been awesome to see Neville win. I don't think he was ready. The New Day thing would have been so cool and so innovative if Kofi would have won and they would have cashed in and did the Freebird rule for the main title. That would have been so cool, but it's a little too ballsy, I feel like, for them to go that route.
It's the indie thing to do.
Yeah, which would, guys like us, we really get off on something like that happening. It's something different, something we've never seen, But yeah, I was disappointed. I was bummed.
Okay, Daniel, what about you, bud?
I mean, I thought it got better as time went on. Like the beginning was really, really clunky. I thought after like the Neville and Kofi section though, it kind of picked up. And I thought like Roman Reigns looked really strong. And like to your point too, like they have been building up Roman Reigns, but at the same time, like what's more important right now? Like we all know that with Brock Lesnar coming back soon, that like the title's going to be tied up. So this Money in the Bank contract win is going to be a late game type thing. It's not going to be cashed in anytime soon.
Yep.
So
I was saying too, it's like it's going to sit on Sheamus for a while. Like
yeah. And with Roman Reigns now he's going into a program with Wyatt, which is awesome. Like I feel like that's only going to help both of them. That's going to be some really great work too. I felt like Ziggler wasn't really in the match like hardly at all. Like there were 3 spots and that was it. It was weird. It was really strange.
Well, there was a rumor that Ziggler got a concussion at a live event after Raw. That Sheamus bro-kicked him, and Ziggler got another concussion. Now, that was just a rumor. I haven't seen anything confirmed yet. I'm hoping it's actually not true, because a couple more concussions, and he's going to get Corey Graves, man.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that isn't true, but with as little, I mean, I found myself asking all the time, like, where's Ziggler? Where is Ziggler right now? Because, you see a couple spots, and, he got the sleeper and the zigzag off the ladder, but I mean, other than that,
pretty cool spot too, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That was a good spot. That was a good spot.
I mean, it probably wasn't the best spot of the night. Like, I think like any spots that were done off the ladders really got upstaged when Wyatt showed up.
Yeah.
Because Wyatt showing up really kind of was the cash cab for that match. Which and we were arguing. We were like, well, what the hell are they gonna do with Wyatt? Because he's not even booked for tonight. But I'm glad he showed up, and I'm glad it's Reigns he's gonna be working a program with. Both of them can come out shining like $1 million.
Let's hope so.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't think they're gonna crush Wyatt. I mean, Wyatt already lost. Well, he beat Ryback, and then he lost to Reigns on Raw. So I don't think they're gonna crush him. I think that they're really gonna build him. This will probably be a 2 or 3 pay-per-view feud, if I had to guess.
I hope so.
Yeah, they'll do Battleground. They'll do SummerSlam for sure, and then they'll probably do one more. But I think Wyatt wins Battleground and Reigns wins SummerSlam. I think that'll be the way they do it.
Probably, yeah. It's a
It,
babyface show, SummerSlam. I mean,
yeah,
overall the match was decent. I mean, I was disappointed with it. But I mean, I can kind of get behind the Sheamus win. Like, I like him as a heel better. Like, honestly, I just get tired of seeing Sheamus and Orton fight constantly. Like,
yeah,
just get them away from each other. Like I like them both. They're both great workers. I'm just so tired of them together. Like Orton and Cena, like both great. I like their work so much better when they're apart. And it's like because I've seen it so many times. So I mean, I give the match overall like a B minus. Like that was my grade for it.
yeah. I was the same way. I gave the ladder match a B.
Can I ask you a question? Who would you have chosen to win that match if you had the pencil? If you could pick, who would you?
Kofi Kingston.
Yeah.
Kofi
Dan,
Kingston.
who would you have picked?
Yeah, we picked Kofi Kingston.
Okay. And I just for that whole sake of New Day doing the free throw rule, that would have been awesome if Kofi would have won. I think I'm with you guys.
Well, and not so much the Freebird rule as much as like, so you give Kofi the main title, and then until the 4th of July event where Kofi faces Brock, you just build the New Day up just as like arrogant, cocky. You know, the world title and the tag titles, all three of them are prominent in the main event scene and the main event segments of Raw. So not only are you giving Kofi that world title to legitimize him as a heel, but you're also bringing the tag titles up into more relevance because they're in that main event segment.
And then just have him drop it to Brock at the 4th of July show.
Yep.
Like just straight away. He doesn't need to hold it long.
No, you just need to get some shine.
Are they broadcasting that whole 4th of July show, or is it just the NXT title match, though?
No, they're broadcasting the whole show.
Okay, cool. I didn't know that. That's awesome.
Yeah, whole show on the network. It's going to be at like 6:30 on the network or something like that. It's going to be early in the morning.
Well,
but it's going to be on the network, so like you can just watch it whenever. You know, it's not like it's like, oh, it's a special, but you can only watch it once. Yeah. If you just want to watch it live, you got to wake up.
Well, that's great because I'm going to get drunk that night anyway, so it's fine.
there you go. So here comes one of the gripes for me. Paige versus Nikki Bella for the Divas title. This is actually one match that I got right. I just didn't get it right the way I thought I was going to. The match itself, I didn't really have too many complaints about. I was surprised that they got as much time as they did. I think I clocked it. They were close to like 13 or 14 minutes with the match. So it was a pretty solid amount of time. But after Brie took that pin, it should have been a DQ finish, if you ask me. But I guess because she didn't hit Paige and Paige just rolled her up, it wasn't a DQ. But I just think that was a stupid way to book the finish. And I don't like the angle they're doing with Paige, where Paige is just like, you know, I just need somebody to stand up with me to team up and take out the Bellas and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, come on, Paige. You're the anti-diva. Like, you're supposed to be able to do this by yourself. Like, you are everything Beth Phoenix should have been 5 years ago. Like, you know, don't ask for help. Just wreck shit. You know what I mean? So the match itself, I gave a C, and it wasn't any higher because of that finish. Daniel, what did you think about the Divas match?
I mean, I gave it a C plus. I thought it was pretty good. I don't like the Scott Steiner gimmick ripoff of like the push-ups and jumping jacks when as a heel whenever she got like a good spot off, a shoulder block and then some jumping jacks or something. I just thought it was really stupid. But I don't know, man. I think she still had some Super Cena semen inside her, and she just like kicked out of every single thing, like every single thing that happened. Especially after that Rampage, I was just like, man, like why do you keep having her kick out of all of these huge moves and then still do the twin thing at the end? It doesn't make sense at that point. Like, what wouldn't Brie have jumped the gun already at this point, since you've already like come close to losing 7 times already? Like, you know what I mean? It just doesn't make sense if she's going to be under the ring the whole time. I don't know, like little things like that. Nerds like us sit around and dissect entertainment wrestling show with women in the ring, and now we're talking about why they're in the ring. But it's weird, man. I gave the match a C, and I feel like it just felt awkward. The entire match felt awkward to me.
Yep. I agree. Brent, what'd you think, bud?
You know, I'm gonna beg to differ here because as far as like a wrestling match, I'm giving it a B. Like, thought it was good back and forth. Granted, I agree with a lot of the stuff you guys are saying. I just like I have to tell myself as a 27-year-old wrestling fan that it's entertainment. Like, and the little shit like that, like the kicking out of the rampage and why didn't I with you 100%. I just have to like step back and suspend my belief sometimes. So I'm okay with that kind of stuff happening. I think I talked myself into being okay with it, but I just the whole Divas division's a mess. I feel like with the Bellas, like, they were faces a week or two ago, and now they're heels again, and just don't understand where Paige is and all this. I feel like she's trying to be almost like the CM Punk of the Divas division, like breaking the wall a little bit, and I guess
AJ's gone.
oh yeah, right. It's like someone's got to take that spot, and I think she's the one to do it. I don't know. I feel like they need to pull the trigger sooner rather than later. The longer they wait, the more it's going to lose its luster. So she's going to do it. They need to do it. Battleground, like give her the belt. Let's start this new. Let's call some people up from NXT. Let's get some real women's wrestling. Like change the Divas title to the Women's Championship for crying out loud. Like there's a good.
Absolutely, yes.
Like I mean, but back to the match. I thought it was good. Like for a Nikki Bella match, like I was pretty impressed. Like there was one thing that she did there I was really impressed with. I'm gonna lose it now because it's the Divas match, but she's gotten better. She's better than her sister, I think, for sure in the ring.
Yeah.
Oh, that's for sure.
Yeah, she's better than Brie in the ring. It's just Brie's a little bit better on cutting promos. Everything that Nikki Bella says, it sounds like she's reading it right off of a cue card, or maybe some ink that she's got written on her arm or something like that. You know. But we actually laughed because when Nikki kicked out of the Rampage, we were like, Cena taught her that. You know. So we had a good laugh at that. So let's forget about that terrible ending there, and let's go to another terrible ending. Ryback versus Big Show for the Intercontinental title. This one, guys, I'm not even gonna. I mean, I know. Well, I heard Daniel warm up his hands just now, so I know he's got stuff to say on this one. So I'm gonna keep mine short and sweet, and we'll save Daniel for last. I gave this one a D, guys. I don't like the non-finish. I don't like that Ryback like destroyed Big Show in the first 15 seconds, and then Big Show just started firing back. I mean, you want to talk? If Daniel texted me, asked me about clunky stuff earlier. You want to talk clunky? This was clunky. Like I just did not like this match. I just don't have the heart to give it an F because I mean, I don't know. I just don't want to give it an F, so I gave it a D. Brent, what'd you think, man? What'd you think about Ryback?
On the grade there, it was a crappy match. I might be one of the only people that's a Ryback fan. I like Ryback. I dig the guy. Like I think he's.
You are in hostile waters here.
Oh, I know. I'm sure I am. I get a lot of crap from some of my other friends that are big wrestling fans, but I get it. I see it, and I see money with Ryback. I think he can do it. Big Show. I know all of us probably think he needs to retire, but the dude, like, he could be a special attraction. He should be what Lesnar is. Like, there's nothing like the Big Show in the WWE. If he comes around every couple months and causes a ruckus, like, people would start to feel like Big Show is legit again. But this isn't doing him any favors. And I love The Miz as a heel. Like, he's not the greatest in the ring, but the guy, once again, that guy can talk. He's got charisma. He's got the ability to make the crowd hate him. Like, we just want to hate The Miz. So I think this is just a stepping stone to more stuff between these three, but it sucked. I mean, I'm Money in the Bank. I want to see some good action, and there was no good action in this match.
Yeah, for sure. So we have said our piece. I see him licking his chops over there. Mr. Schaefer, the floor is yours.
Okay, it's honestly not as bad as I thought it was going to be, believe it or not. I thought Show worked his ass off considering the piece of garbage that he was in the ring with. I thought Show carried that match. I mean, if you go back and watch this match, there's no way that you can say that Show carried the match. You can even see him telling him what to do half the time. You can see him telling the referee to tell him what to do half the time. That dude shouldn't even be wrestling in a backyard somewhere for $5. Like, he should be a bouncer. Ryback is the worst thing that's ever happened ever. But I will say, dude, I'm totally getting behind The Miz as a heel. For some reason, this run is like totally different to me. Like, I'm enjoying The Miz. I'm enjoying his work. I agree with Brent. I think his his mic work was phenomenal. A little bit of commentary he got in was good. I actually gave the match a D+. It was passable, and then you put The Miz on there, and I got a plus out of The Miz. So, it's not even a C, but it's really good for Ryback. A D+ for Ryback is like, it's
like an A for Super Cena.
Yeah.
Y'all just wait. Ryback's gonna be main eventing sooner or later. Y'all just wait.
It's not a matter of that we don't think he's going to main event. It's a matter of we don't like the fact that he's going to main event.
Agreed.
I totally get it. And I trust me, I was right. I don't know what happened. I think the child in me, like the Ultimate Warrior fan in me, clicked like when he won the IC belt. It's like, okay, yeah, this guy's just gonna go around beating people up, chanting "Feed me more." Like, it's ignorance is bliss, boys. Ignorance is bliss.
Sometimes you gotta live it like a fan. Sometimes you can't live it like a mark. Unfortunately, unfortunately, we're mouth of the mark, so we're required to see it through the mark's eyes. So,
well, good. Bring me on for Devil's Advocate.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
That's what we're gonna do. That's what we're gonna do.
Section.
So, okay. So I'm gonna say that this next match was match of the night for the second pay-per-view in a row. Kevin Owens versus John Cena. It stays my match of the night. I know a lot of the spots were the same as the first match, but I think the first match was executed a little better. And see, I don't know which one I should give a higher ranking. I still gave this match an A, just because they came out and they stole the show without a doubt. But first off, Owens kicked out of 2 AAs this time, not just 1. So I kind of popped for that. Cena winning is okay for me because you knew Cena was going to get that number 2 win. He had to get that comeback win. It would have been cool for Owens to go over twice, but Owens walked out stronger than Cena did with that power bomb to the apron. And props to Cena for taking that power bomb to the apron because Vince is sitting in the back going, "That's something those fucking indie shits do. We don't do that here," So super cool. Owens looked like $1 million at the end of the night. I thought for sure he was gonna walk out with both titles, and then he just threw the U.S. title down. And I was like, okay, cool. So he's not walking out with both. Brent, what did you think on Cena and Owens? Because I totally gave it match of the night, man.
I'm agreeing with you. I feel like it almost, you could tell that they were a little more comfortable with each other this time than the first time, I felt like. So, and I'm with you where I feel like it's cool that Cena wins. What I hope, though, from this match is I hope that powerbomb on the apron keeps Cena from competing at Battleground. So they save.
And then it's SummerSlam.
Yes, round 3 for the big show, and Owens has to go over. I hope that they've learned their lesson with Rusev.
And Bray Wyatt.
Bray Wyatt. It's happened countless times, so they got to build somebody, and this is the perfect opportunity with the guy that is getting super over with the crowd, with the marks like us who are just like big Owens fans, and then the people, the kids, the women that hate Owens, like there's this passionate hate for him, or we've got this passionate love for him. This guy is making money right now. It's awesome. I couldn't be happier with what they're doing with this program. And match of the night, A for sure.
Absolutely, Daniel.
Dude, yeah, hands down, match of the night. I think that's a unanimous vote there for sure. Dude, Owens was super over with the crowd tonight. It was really cool. This is, like I said this before, but I really feel like this feud is, like, we are watching a classic happen in real time. Like, This is going to be a classic feud. And I think that this feud could potentially be like an on and off feud for the rest of Cena's career, which would be fine, you know. And I mean, I think that this is the best stuff that Cena has done since the Punk stuff, since the real, you know, since the pipe bomb interview. I think that this is his best work. I think that, I mean, it was match of the night, you know, and nothing even comes close to that match other than the last match they had at the last pay-per-view, and that was, to me, had been match of the year up to that point. So, I mean, they're on. I mean, to say on a roll is an understatement. A+ match of the night for sure.
Another thing that I've been thinking about with this program too is, with this look making Owens look as strong as it is, imagine when Sammy comes back from injury and goes straight after Owens. It's going to make Sammy look even better because he's going straight after this guy that
Absolutely.
the main roster crowd, the WWE universe, already sees Owens in this big light. So when Sammy comes in with the passion that those two have together, like, I can't wait. I'm ready.
And that's my thing. My thing is like, you have to know, like, oh, in these 5-star matches, you have to know that Sami Zayn is sitting at home and like just hanging himself for getting hurt on that Raw before he faced Cena, because all of this was originally for Sami Zayn, and then Zayn got hurt, and then Owens came up, because originally the call up was for Zayn. So like, you know, like, it's a giant kick in the ass to be watching Owens get all this, and then you're like, oh, but that could have been me. So I'm hoping, I'm with you, I'm hoping that when Zayn comes up, they just straight put him in, and we're gonna have El Generico versus Kevin Steen with WWE main roster money.
Yeah, how did that happen? Like, if you would have said like 5 years ago, like the main event in a WWE program is going to be, you know, El Generico versus Kevin Steen, people would have been like, "What the fuck?" Like, so I think it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool that we've come this far in like 5-6 years, you know.
Oh, absolutely, and it's I mean, it's good TV, man. And people were saying that about Punk when Punk was in Ring of Honor, you know, and look where Punk got. So I mean, you know, it's not completely unheard of. Daniel Bryan, I mean, a lot of these big indie guys come in.
Like, that's crazy to me still. Like, I'm a huge Bryan fan. Like, like watching that guy in the Indies and watching his climb up. Even a year before, I would have never thought that he would be headlining Mania 30. Like, it's just insane. It's awesome. Like, we're witnessing a new era of wrestling. It's really cool to be a part of it.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. So after that was Big E and Xavier Woods versus the Primetime Players. Surprised that Kofi wasn't at ringside, but I guess I'm further surprised at the outcome when Primetime Players won the tag team titles. Again, I was completely wrong. I thought New Day was like a shoe-in for this win.
Yeah,
but
me too.
Primetime Players just kind of snuck up in there and got it. I mean, the match work wasn't bad. I gave it a B-. It wasn't too terrible visually. They didn't give them too many minutes. I think they gave them enough minutes to get in what they needed to get in, and then they, you know, got in, got out, and that was it. I'm surprised that Primetime Players won, but I'm a Primetime Players fan. I've been a Primetime Players fan for a while, even when they were running heels. So I'm excited. It's full. I'm just hoping that they don't really get like the quick paper kind of turnaround where like New Day does their rematch on Raw and then Primetime Players lose. So I'm hoping that doesn't happen. But I gave it a B. Daniel, what'd you think?
I gave the match a B too. I thought it was it was pretty much just kind of a cool down match to go, you know, into the main event. But it was a good match. It was a good Memphis style tag match, you know, where one babyface gets beaten up, you know, the entire time, big hot tag, you know, and then they pretty much go over, you know. So it was a nice little surprise having the Primetime Players win it. I'm not bummed about it. But after they won it, then I was like, oh yeah, there's no way our long shot dark horse Kofi, you know, could have gone over, you know, like that makes sense now, you know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, I gave the match a B. It was a decent match.
Brett?
I'm gonna go C plus. It wasn't anything out of the ordinary. I'm not thrilled with primetime players winning. The only thing that excites me is I'm hoping that they just won to set up like their debate for Harper and Rowan to finally win the belts, because I'm really glad that that team's back together, and I'm glad they got a tag finisher. Like they're a team that's using a tandem move, which like tag team wrestling. Come on, you know.
But you know what's coming if they do win.
Oh yeah, and then that set up some great stuff, like because it doesn't make sense for them to take the belts off the New Day. But back to that, I don't think that the New Day was ready to give up those belts yet. I feel like that was a little fast. I feel like they were kind of giving Titus a rub for winning that Dad of the Year thing, and of course, you know, we all know about Darren Young. I think it's kind of a publicity thing for WWE to put the belts on him for a little while. But they're good. They've improved a lot. Don't get me wrong. Like I'm a fan of both of them. I don't know. I wouldn't have done it yet.
Yeah, I think we can all agree that it was a little too early for New Day to lose the titles. But I mean, I'm kind of with you where you got a face team holding the tag titles, and you set up Rowan, let them have the titles, and then maybe we drop a bombshell.
That would be cool.
I'm just saying.
That's a.
See, I don't even think they're setting. See, that's the thing though. Like, I don't think Harper and Rowan. I honestly do believe that they're cutting those promos for the Deadly comeback. I don't think they're even trying to go for the tag titles right away. I think that's why they're using.
No.
I think that's why they're using the 3D. I think that's who they're talking to. I think that's the swerve. I think the swerve is everyone thinks they're going for the tag titles, and it's going to be for the Deadlies.
I guess that feud doesn't need the tag titles. They wouldn't need the tag titles for that feud, but me as a fan, I would like it.
Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe they beat primetime players, and then they bring the Dudleys in, and they, you know, because I mean, I know they really want to raise the value of the tag titles, and if you do that, you need to bring in some big time credibility. It wouldn't be bad to bring in, you know, the Hardys for a 3-month run or something like that. I'm not saying bring them back full time. God, I'm not saying put the titles on the Hardy Boys. I'm just saying bring them back to work a program with you know, a couple kids, put them over. You know, make the tag titles relevant again, just enough to where people would tweet about it. You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing.
Yeah. But I mean, the problem with that is you got all the TNA contracts and stuff like that. Because Jeff is still under TNA contract. Matt isn't, but Jeff is. So you got problems there. I don't know. Like I think the E missed a big opportunity when they passed on the Wolves. I thought they should have kept the Wolves when the Wolves came to NXT.
Agreed.
That would have been a really good team to have. Yeah, but I mean, you know, it's just, you know, I don't know. Bring up the vaudevillains. That's all I gotta say. Bring up the vaudevillains.
Yeah, put your dukes up. Like.
Notice the mustache.
That's right. That's what I'm saying. Bring up the vaudevillains. That's all I'm saying.
Dude, I love that. I'm glad they finally came back on TV.
Me too.
So our main event was, good God, I think this match was like a 40 to 45 minute match, guys. Like, how long does it take to kill Dean Ambrose with a ladder? That's all I'm saying. I mean, he worked 30 minutes with a gimp ass leg. How long does it take? You know what I mean? Here's the thing. We all knew Seth was going to go over. It didn't make sense for Dean to go over unless Sheamus was going to cash in tonight. And Sheamus is going to hold on to it for a long time because we know the Brock thing is going to happen. So, I mean, I just don't. There was no reason to believe that Dean was going to win, realistically, as Marks. So I don't see why. I mean, this match got a lot of time. I mean, a lot of time.
Yeah.
I would have cut this match in half, to be honest. Like, you could have cut it in half, and it still would have been fine. And honestly, the amount of time it was given actually brought the grade down for me. I mean, guys, like, this isn't the best Rollins and Ambrose match we've ever seen.
Yeah.
It certainly wasn't as good as Hell in a Cell. I mean, and I'd venture to say it wasn't even as good as their match at Elimination Chamber. Like, I mean,
Some
I
of
don't
their
know.
matches.
Yeah, I mean, this one just kind of fell flat for me. It's just a lot of there were some cool spots. Just a lot of it just like really fell flat or just really seemed unnecessary. I mean, and they had a tough match to follow. Anything that followed Owens and Cena just was doomed from the start. And as much as I hate to say it because I'm big fans of both of these guys, I gave this a C. Like, I gave it a C, C plus. Daniel, what'd you think, man?
I thought the match was pretty good, actually. I mean, I agree that I don't think it was like their best work, but I certainly didn't think the match was bad. Maybe the tag title match kind of cooled me off enough, and I think that Triple H, the show them promo that he cut in the back, I mean, that was awesome. Like, that was a really, really good promo from Triple H, and that kind of hyped me up a lot. And I felt like Rollins was playing like the pissed off and vicious heel tonight, and not necessarily the sneaky, skeezy heel, and I liked that. I liked that he was pretty much in charge most of the match. I felt like it was finally time for him to get a win. And I felt like I understood the finish because you want to keep the feud going. And I think that they wrote it properly. I just think the two guys pulled it off poorly. I think that the end just looked weird, but it was their fault. I don't think it was the writing. I think that could have been better if they had been on two sides.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And just had both grabbed onto one side and pulled and pulled and pulled, and then both fell off. You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. But I don't know. I feel like it just could have been better that way. But I gave the match a B minus. So because almost an A, or a B plus, almost an A. It was a really good match to me. What do you think, Brent?
Yeah, it was. I was entertained for the match. The end is where I start to get angry with it because I feel like I could have lived with a little more suspense. I like the finish with them both grabbing the belt at the same time. I don't like the whole, and I even said this before the announcers made light of it, like the NFL rule with the catch. When both receiver and cornerback go up for the ball, whoever comes down with possession, it's like, oh, it's NFL, whatever. I kind of wish there would have been some confusion there and no set winner tonight. So we had to tune into Raw to find out who the champion is.
That could have been the finish, though. That could have, and they could have just botched it. Yeah,
it could have been. Well, and this actually brings me back to that Money in the Bank thing, because really, now that I've had some time to stew on it, what I really wanted to happen, which would never have happened, was for Roman to win the Money in the Bank, then Dean to win the belt, but Roman heals cash on Dean.
Yeah, we all said that too. Yeah.
You have to tune into Raw on Monday to figure out why did he do it, how is Dean feeling, where does Seth sit in all this? Man, that would have got some attention. I would have because Raw, we know Raw in the summer is kind of it's really hard to sit through 3 hours of Raw, but that that would have really I would have been thinking about it all night tonight and counting down the hours till Raw started to figure out oh my God, I love the mind blowing things. That's why I love the cash in at Mania. That was awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
Could have just used a little something more exciting to keep the momentum going in the summer because it just drags. Especially with what we got with Sheamus winning the Money in the Bank and the finish for the championship match, just kind of average.
The finish doesn't even bug me as much as the overabundance of seriously, Ambrose is on a gimp leg. He's been killed 3 times. They buried him under a ladder and 30 chairs. And he just gets up. I'm going to meet him at the ladder. You are outside the ring. You are dead. You took a powerbomb to each side of the barricade and onto the goddamn ladder. How are you walking right now? I just think it was too much. If you're going to do that kind of finish, ease off a little bit. Less is more. You know what I mean? So
not in a ladder match though. You're kind of stuck with your gimmick match, man. If it was a normal main event match, then I would agree. But
okay, but you had already put Seth through the ladder that was bridged, so that was already one of your ladder spots. You had the ladder outside where they threw the ladder back and forth at each other. Ambrose's leg was getting torn up by the ladder the whole match, and then you're gonna powerbomb him through both barricades and the ladder. And then just bury him under chairs, but somehow he gets up in 10 seconds and
he's crazy, man.
But I know he's crazy. But like you were talking about where you've got to get into that suspension of disbelief. I mean, it really breaks it. Like, really. I mean, so I just, and maybe it's just the mark in me after that Owens and Cena match. I'm just a little hard on it. But the end wasn't what bugged me. It was just the whole, like, Jesus Christ, am I watching CZW right now? Because I'm pretty sure Rollins is trying to kill Ambrose. Like, I thought I was watching CZW for a minute. If they'd have brought out fluorescent light bulbs, I'd have called it quits. So, overall,
did you guys hear that? Did you guys hear that faint CZW chant when they were out there by the when he did the figure 4 in the corner?
yeah, I heard the CZW, and that's kind of where I went on my tirade from it because I heard it, and then I was talking to the boys in the living room while we were watching. I was like, man, I feel like I'm watching the CZW. Powerbomb the barricade, and on the ladder, he pulls out light bulbs, and I'm done. That's all that was missing was barbed wire and fluorescent light bulbs, and you'd have had a CZW match right there.
Yeah.
So.
We didn't get another exploding monitor, though. That was
That's right. That's right. But we did get a monitor to the knee, so
yeah.
it was. And I even said that when Seth rolled into the ring, the monitor was right on the apron. I said, "Well, screw it, Seth. You already threw 10 chairs on him. Just kick the monitor out there too, and just make it everything. Throw the bag of chips out there." So, but overall, guys, like, what'd you guys think overall? I kind of, it's sitting like a B minus pay-per-view in total for me. There were a couple of duds, but the ladder match was okay for the most part, and Cena and Owens really carried the night for me. So I'm sticking with that grade. Brent, what did you think overall in the night, man? Like, overall grade?
Well, I expect more from a Money in the Bank pay-per-view. I expect a little more excitement. That Cena Owens match, like, it saved the night for me. It was that good. It was everything that I want a wrestling match to be. Like, the story, everything. I give the pay-per-view overall a C. The Cena Owens match saves it from being a little bit lower to me and being disappointed with the pay-per-view. I didn't hit disappointment level because of that match.
Yeah, and Daniel, what about you, bud?
I actually gave the match a B, or the show a B. I gave the whole show a B because I felt like, I honestly felt like some of the matches were good. I just felt like, maybe it's just because I was dissecting everything, but I saw that, like, a couple of the finishes were, I feel like the show, if it had been pulled off the way it was written, would have been a better show. I just feel like there were spots in the Divas match that kind of got botched. There was the finish in the world title match that kind of got botched. The opening to the ladder match kind of felt like I felt like every guy kept looking at the other guy to see whose turn it was for a spot. You know what I mean? It felt like, you see what I'm saying? It was those kind of things. I don't think that like the creative for this show and where they're going after this show, like the end result of the show, I rated it B because I think that the angles that we have now are better than what we had before the show. You know what I mean? With Reigns and Wyatt. Now we know at least Sheamus and Orton probably aren't going to be a thing anymore, thank God.
Yeah. Hallelujah.
Yeah, and we know we're going to get another Owens and Cena. We know we're going to get another Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins. So these are all good things to me. Primetime players winning the titles, to me, just means that there's going to be more eyes on the tag team championship. So it didn't, to me, I kind of agree that, it might have been a little too soon for New Day. But overall, man, I'm stoked. I think, Raw is going to be probably pretty good. The show leading up to this one was one of the better Raws they've had in a while. So hopefully they turn it up for Battleground. And, they got to bring Brock back between now and the 4th of July, too. So I expect to see.
He's scheduled for tomorrow. He's scheduled for tomorrow night, I think.
Yeah, see, there you go. So.
Well, it's either tomorrow or next week. I thought it was the 22nd, so I thought it was next week. But they could have added him for tomorrow too. But I know they're bringing him back for the Battleground pay-per-view, so he will be.
What do you think he does at Battleground?
I don't know, because like if we're already gonna get a Rollins Ambrose again, I don't know what you do with Brock. Like that's a good question. Like, what do you do with him for a pay-per-view until SummerSlam? I don't know, because you don't want to rush Brock and Rollins and have that at Battleground, and then.
What's your SummerSlam main event? Yeah, if you do that.
Right. Like, you don't want to blow your load for SummerSlam. So I don't know, Daniel. What do you think, man? What are they gonna do with Brock? Like, I mean,
It's gonna be Kane. It's gonna be Kane.
Oh no! I hope not.
It is. It's gonna be Kane, and he's gonna squash the shit out of him. That's what's gonna happen.
man, you know what? Like, just make that a little more exciting for me. Like, just have it be Brock versus Kane and J&J Security. Just, like it'll be exactly like when Brock destroyed 3MB. Like, you'll get the one more time chant for the F5 onto the barricade. You know what? Just let him take out all three of them.
Well, I mean, Kane does have some steam right now, and I mean, the Undertaker thing, they can use it. And Brock probably does need a match to keep him out of the world title picture, so they can wrap this thing up with Ambrose and Rollins. Or maybe they feed him to Sheamus, and maybe he beats Sheamus because Sheamus has the contract now, so he can stand to take a loss. And we all know that Brock's coming back babyface.
Don't say it like that. Just say it like you mean it, man. Sheamus has got the contract now. He's going to be buried for the next 8 months.
Yeah,
I hope so. He looks stupid.
So I mean that's just how it goes, man. Contract holders get buried for 8 months, and then they cash in, they win, they're on top of the world until you get a concussion like Dolph Ziggler, and then you're back to nothing.
Mm.
So unless you're like Sandow, and then you turn into Cena and you fail your cash in. So those are your two options, I guess. So well, I think that's gonna do it for us tonight, guys. We reviewed, we've mouthed off our markiness. We've got our little one fan over here who wants to be believing in it or whatever kind of show are you on. So, but that's gonna do it for us tonight, guys. Make sure to tune in for Raw. We'll be back tomorrow night with a Raw review, and that's it here at Mouth of the Mark. Thanks again to Brent for joining us, and we hope to have him on again soon.
Yeah, thanks for having me. This was fun.
Oh yeah, definitely got to do it again. That's it for us tonight, guys. See y'all tomorrow.
Peace.